Watching Ian scramble to get in his seat is the only bit of enjoyment I've had tonight. So there we go. Yes, folks, hello, welcome along to your post-match reaction here on the Rangers Rabble Podcast. Brought to you by the Rabble Network and the Talk Sport Fan Network as well. Rangers 0, Genk 1, Rangers down to 10 men. But even before that, let's be honest about it, Genk could have been 2 or 3 up. Probably should have been, if we're being brutally honest with ourselves. Rangers created a few chances, nothing really to shout home about. Another game where we look powder puff going forward and too easy to get at in defence. So not much really has changed, folks, to be brutally honest. A few incidents to discuss, which I will do with my esteemed panel. Brian, who is, I might as well just marry you at this point, Brian, I see you that much.
How you doing? Yeah, was hoping for a lot better tonight. Said in the afternoon rabble that we were looking forward, reasonably looking forward to the game in the sense that we'd won at the weekend, but that was a massive letdown. So we'll get into the guts of it soon enough.
Yes, and my 8th favourite person on the rabble, Ian. Ian, how are you?
It's funny how I jump up from 8th if you win at 2K, but I drop down the league if you lose at 2K. Yeah. Me scrambling to my seat was the quickest anyone in a Rangers top move tonight, just so you know. I'd love to say I'm doing all right, but I've just sat through that, same as you two. I'm not doing all right at all. I'm sick of this.
I mean, look, Ian, we could maybe say that for parts of that, when it was still 11 versus 11, we looked a wee bit better with some movement. We created a couple of chances. But that's really clutching at straws for me. I'll need to watch the game back. It's difficult to do it straight after a game because you're trying to remember every incident in your head, every chance created, which you can't always do. Maybe we did create a few more chances than what I'm imagining, Ian, right? But for me, and I'll just repeat what I said at the very start of this, powder puff going forward and defensively all over the team, just defensively shocking, mate.
The first attack Genk had tonight, my comment in the watch along was, if this carries on like this, it's going to be a long night. That was one ball over the top and we got caught out. And if that carries on, it's going to be a long night. I can only think of 2 chances in the first half where we could have scored. Suter with that clearance off the goal line was superb clearance from the Genk player, can't knock it. And the one where Moore should have left it for Raskin. Other than that, I don't remember us creating Sodor in the way of chance. Second half, we created nothing. 0 shots on target second half. 0. We only had 10 touches in their box all night. It's the same story, game in, game out. Doesn't matter who we play, game in, game out, and it'll be the same on Sunday. I just don't get it. I get the players were lackluster, they were powder puff, they were rubbish, but it all goes back to the man who stands on the sideline, flapping his hair about all night long. He brought these players in because they could do the job at Ibrox, apparently. That's what he said. I brought players in who could do the job. None of them have shown me that they can do any type of job.
Has the red card got him a get out of jail free card again, Brian?
No, I wouldn't say. Well, yes and no. We were terrible before the red card, and the red card just compounded it, didn't it? I mean, Diamandi is slowly going down, in my estimate. I thought he was a far better player than what he's shown, but week on week, he's a liability in this team now. There's always that potential for a red card in him now. You're always worried. He flies into a tackle. You're never sure if he's in control of what he's doing. I must admit, when it was in full flight and in sort of real time, I thought he got the ball. But then when you see the replay, my word, that was terrible. So yeah I mean, Diamandi is very much the liability of the team now. He's just a walking red card every week now. I'm all for guys having a bit of passion and a bit of dig, but she was settle it down a bit and at least win the ball.
Yeah, it was just, Ian, the conversations are becoming the same, and we could literally have came on here, right, for 5 minutes, Ian, and went, we've seen this before, Martin's got to go, right, everybody see you later.
You could have picked another reaction that we've done and just gone in and edited over the top and dubbed in Genk every time we mentioned the other team play. and just left it at that. We didn't have to do this tonight. We could easily have just bodged it if any way we could. And the long and the short of it is it's not going to change. And yeah, there's mitigating circumstances, you could say tonight. Should we have had a penalty? Was there a penalty? Was it a red card? Yes, it was. But it all comes down to the way that he plays his football. And he didn't change it. He tried to go at it. Fair play to him. He tried to do a positive thing at half-time, taking more off, bringing out Maron.
Which he should have done from the beginning.
Yeah, but he's made that change at half-time. We weren't expecting it. I'd have said, like, if he had brought Rothwell on at half-time for Chimity, I wouldn't have been surprised. Mm-hmm. But he did make that positive change. But that's all he did then. And then we went 1-0 down and we needed a change and he did nothing until the, 75th minute? So it's all on the manager. It all buck stops at the manager no matter what, because the manager's the one that will pay the price, and he should be paying the price. And if Kavanagh's sat in that stand tonight and still thinks that's all right, then maybe we've got serious words to talk about other people as well.
You know what's starting to get to me, was starting to really worry me? The fact that Brian, I watched Chermiti tonight and I'm going, oh no, actually, by the way, he's looking all right. He's closing down well. A couple of times he got the ball and laid it off. And then, do you know that way I'm sitting back as he's coming off the park, Brian, and I'm going, if I'm genuinely saying to myself that that's him playing all right, what's going on in my head? That's where this Rangers team have got us. That's how low the standards are falling. The fact that I'm looking at a guy, and it's not all his fault. He was left up there isolated himself, which our strikers always are. Very little help. But I'm looking at him and going, oh, do you know what? I mean, he actually closed down all right. That's where my head's at with this Rangers team right now. That's how bad it's getting.
And you're speaking about our number 9, and that's the sort of first thing that comes to your head. You're thinking, oh, he's closing, you know, is he making good runs? Is he doing this? Not that. That's not what's coming into your head. You know, oh, he was unlucky with that shot, or oh, that was a nice bit of skill. The first thing that you're thinking is, oh, he's done well in closing down. I mean, yeah. I mean, this is systematic now of this, as you just said, the standards at the club. They're going down. They're going down the Swanee very quick, and nobody seems to be wanting to arrest that sort of slide. Everybody's quite happy. Everybody seems to be, oh well, this is okay. They're like ostriches with their heads in the sand. They're just sort of, everything's fine. Nothing to worry about. Move on. As Ian just said there, you know, if Kavanagh's watching that and thinking that's acceptable, then we have to start asking questions about upstairs rather than any more questions from upstairs than anywhere else, because there's no way you can deem that acceptable tonight. It's baffling. You kind of thought the players would have had a little bit of confidence after the Hibs win. Okay, as we said this afternoon, Martin, we didn't play great in the Hibs game, but a win's a win. And you kind of thought going into tonight, you know, a decent crowd tonight. I was actually quite pleasantly surprised by the crowd. I wasn't expecting it to be as good as that.
37,000 and something.
Was it as much? Right, okay. Yeah, so, I mean, yeah, I think like everybody else, I'm just sort of, you're in a daze, but you're not surprised. And that's the horrible thing. Nothing seems to change. It's like copy and paste every single week. We're moaning about the same things. We're flagging up the same problems, and nothing's happening. So, and as we said in the afternoon as well, it's a case of we're going to have to grin and bear this, because the higher ups, the hierarchy, don't seem to be in any they don't seem to be in any apparent mood to change the manager. So, I just don't know what we can do as fans. I really don't.
And as Derek's saying there, Ian, 37k is terrible for a home game in Europe, says it all. I think whilst Martin's still here, that's the last time we see 37,000 people at Ibrox.
Hibs game, they said there was 35,500 of that game. There was nowhere near 35,500 of that game. So tonight proved that. If that crowd was 37, there was nowhere near 35 against Hibs. And that's what you're going to see. We'll be lucky if this continues, particularly if the Sunday comes and we're going to a place where it is a tough place to go and win a game. Better Rangers teams than this have struggled to win at the Tony Macaroni. And if it happens, I can't believe I just said that. That's a ridiculous name for a stadium. But if that happens, you'll be less than 20,000 in the next home game, unless they turn up to vent at Russell Martin. So yeah, I think you're right. I think it's going to get on. I've been to European games since I was a teenager, and no matter how bad we were doing in Europe, the place was full. The first one I ever went to was Marseille.
Or close to it, Ian.
And the last time I was there was Braga when we beat them 3-1 to get to the semi-finals of that Europa League run. And what a night that was. But you're not going to get that now, not while this is happening. It's just there's ruined. The one thing you had to look forward to in the last few seasons, regardless of where the league was going, was Europe. We haven't even got that now.
Yeah. And by the way, I know there'll be people sitting back saying, but wait, we were down to 10 men. No, I'm sorry. I'm not accepting that as an excuse. Brian, I didn't see much from this Genk team. And Alan McCoy said it right towards the end of the game, and he was absolutely right. 2 years ago, we dispatched this Genk team, no problem. Even down to 10 men, we probably still beat that Genk team. And look, there was some good play from them. They created loads of chances. They cut us open at will. They probably should have had about 3-4. I mean, if they had come away for their 1-5, I don't think we could have come on this reaction and said they didn't deserve it.
No.
The fact they've got a mediocre striker up front, N.O., who done a Cyril Dessers tonight and missed about 40 chances but scored one. But seasons gone by, Brian, we beat that Genk team no problem.
Oh, without a question. I mean, as Ian just said, that Europa League run team, that they would have absolutely squished that lot tonight. I must admit, I wasn't really. I didn't think much of Genk before we started, and I was proven right at the end. They weren't a good team, but unfortunately, we're worse, and that's the bottom line. We've managed to somehow find ourselves worse off than a very, very poor Genk team. So, I mean, as we've all said, what more can we say to say that the manager is out of his depth? He's just not. He's not up to it. It's frightening how bad this is getting. As I say, do we have to go bottom of the league before things change? Will the alarm bells start going off then? I don't know. It's baffling. I was kind of gutted not going tonight, but after watching that, I'm kind of glad I didn't spend the money and go. So, as you say, we would have teams gone by. Even the team with Cyril Dessers, where we went away and won at Betis. The team that we got into the last 8 last year. The top 8 last year. They would have dispatched that lot tonight, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
But my word, I mean, that defence tonight. I mean, the amount of times that you could have actually taken a Panzer tank and just drove through the defence was unbelievable. It was frightening. I mean, the gap between Cornelius and Suter at times was just wow, so wide. And their strikers and their attacking midfielders must have just been loving that.
Yeah, it was just really, really pathetic tonight, to be brutally honest with you. Right, some of the incidents for the game then, in the first one, should we have had a penalty? Was it a foul? Was it a penalty?
It is a penalty. I mean, it is kind of those ones where he's not looking at the ball and it hits him on the arm. What's he supposed to do? But his arm's in an unnatural position. And it's in the letter of the law now, it is a penalty. It's below the T-shirt line as well, because that's another thing you've got to take into consideration. It was a penalty. The ref missed it. Didn't want to give it. I'm pretty sure he's asked that VAR, bail me out because I don't want to give this. And they've made up some push. Because you can always tell by player reactions. Did Genk ask for the push? No, they did not. Did the player who was involved ask for a push? No, he didn't. So I don't know where they found the push. Yes, his hands were there, but he's put 2 hands up. He's not motioned to push. His hands are there, but he doesn't do that. So that's the push. Hits him on the arm. Should have been a penalty, not given. And I can't, for the life of me, I can't understand why it was not given. You could sit there and say that and do what other teams have done. Say it's just how far does this go? Because it's a conspiracy. It's just this ref was just poor.
Oh, it was terrible. I try my best not to talk about the ref, but after we've been beat, I like to talk about the team and why we got beat, because it wasn't the referee's fault that we lost tonight, in my opinion.
No, not at all.
It was nothing to do with the ref. Although I do agree, Brian. I did feel that should have been a penalty by the letter of the law, even though I'm not a fan of those type of penalties given.
Yeah, I mean, I think the Genk manager was asking for the push rather than the players. I think he was gesturing to the referee when he went to the VAR screen. He was gesturing for a push. I mean, geez, push. I mean, gee, he barely touched him. So yeah, I mean, that for me was weak at best to not give that as a penalty. Very weak. I think the VAR just tried to find any sort of excuse or anything in the build up to that to not give it, and they decided on a push that was barely there. I mean, if that's enough to knock him off balance and put his arm out like that, then well, game's up, isn't it?
And the Dio sending off, Ian, any arguments?
Like Brian at first, I was like, I need to have another look at that. I'm not sure. What's he doing bringing out a red card? He was quick to get it out. Then I saw it and I went, do you know? No, he's right. That's 100% a red card. I've got no issues with it whatsoever. And Dio has got that in him. There's been a few games where he's been lucky not to get sent off for making challenges exactly the same as that. Because Scottish referees go, he touched the ball, so we don't have to send him off. Happy days. Red card all day long. No, nothing there. I don't even know. The fact that he was hanging around hoping that the ref would save him with a VAR check was wishful thinking, because that one, he was bang on. He was right there. Red card out, gone.
I know. I don't get why Dio was hanging about after that, Brian, when you see the replay. Like, what are you doing? Just get down the tunnel.
Yeah. As I say, when it happened in real time, I thought he hooked the ball, and that's the way the ball sort of went. That's how I thought the tackle happened. Then you see the replay, and my word, it's X-rated at best. I mean, geez, terrible tackle. So I really don't understand why Dio was hanging around. It was very bizarre. He should have known himself. I mean, all players should know themselves in this day and age. If you make a tackle like that, there's a good chance a red card's coming out, because if the referee doesn't see that, there's an extremely high chance that the VAR is going to pick it up. So just don't make those sort of tackles. And as Ian says, as I said at the start, Dio's got this in him. And as I say, I don't mind players with a bit of dig and a bit of fight, but when you're reckless, that's not helpful. So yeah, I mean, it's just I was amazed that he was hanging around hoping that the referee would go to the screen and change his mind, because it was never going to happen. It was a stonewall red card. Just terrible tackle.
And the Genk penalty, Brian, have you got any arguments over that? I mean, when I first seen it, I went, if they've gave it for the pull, then that's shocking. That's a shocking decision. But as they go into the box, I mean, Tav does kick him. Accidentally or not, he kicks him.
Yeah, it was again. When it happened in real time, I thought it was just a genuine coming together. I didn't think there was anything in it. And then again, when you look at the replay, he catches him. Unfortunately, he clips him with his foot. So letter of the law says a penalty. So it was a penalty. So, but I mean, again, it just seems to be when you're struggling and things aren't going for you, these things just don't go for you, do they? We get a penalty claim, it goes to VAR, don't get it. They get a penalty claim, goes to VAR, they get it. It just seems to be when you're struggling and things aren't going your way, that sort of things go against you, don't they? I
mean, I suppose that the only loud cheer of the night, though, Ian, was Jack Butland saving the penalty. That was the only thing that the supporters had to cheer for on it.
I know. I mean, that's 2 penalty saves now from Butland in just over a week. Unfortunately, the first one he saved obviously went in, but decent save. A bit of a poor penalty, but you've got to be there as a goalkeeper to save him. If he rolls it in and Butland goes the wrong way, you say you give him the eyes. So credit where credit's due for Butland. Got down, got over, pushed it away from danger as well, which is always a hard thing to do. And at that point, you're laughing because of who was taking the penalty as well. And I should know better, because it comes back to bite you in the ass eventually.
Yeah. By the way, just before I come to the Genk's goal, I want to pick up on something. Like, Gassama was by far our best player tonight, right, by a country mile. Gassama was our best player. He was the only one who looked like possibly doing something, right? But I was severely pissed off, Ian, with his dive at the end. He's got the opportunity to put that ball in the 6-yard box. He's got the opportunity to cut that ball back. I know he's anticipating the contact, but the contact never came in. I hate diving, period. I'll pull up Rangers players for diving all the time. I'll pull up other players we play against for diving. And by the way, I thought Genk's tactics tonight were shocking. It was just it was time wasting for minute one for Genk, going down all the time, just time wasting all of the park, right? But Gassama, there's only a couple of minutes to go in. He's got a chance to put the ball in the box, and he's diving. What's he doing?
No idea. I mean, obviously, as a Rangers fan, initially, as soon as he hits the deck, and you're just hopeful you shout penalty, and then you get the replay, and you go, "Oh no, he has dived." So the ref, again, on the spot, done the right thing. As much as we can slag him for not giving our penalty and maybe rushing into things, and that their penalty as well. The big calls, really, when you think about it, apart from our penalty, he's kind of got right. And the Dio sending off in that booking, it was a definite booking. Like you say, just get the ball in. You need to score. There's 50-50 chance you're going to get that penalty. Even if VAR look at it, the likelihood is they're going to go, no, he dived. You've done the right thing by booking him. Just get the ball in. There were players in the box that could have actually had that opportunity to score. Miovski was on at that point. He's more deadly than Schmidt. You get that ball in there, he can score. He only needs a sniff. We know this. It's just, he has a tendency to do this little trick: beat the man again, fall over. He's young, so you can work that out of him, but he's got to do better, much better.
Yeah, he really does. He really does. Please do tell me if I'm wrong here, but Kool-Aid guy Martin, you're talking mince. I'll say mince. Gassama second half was near enough non-existent. Did I say Gassama was outstanding? I said he was by far and away our best player tonight. Did I say that Rangers played well tonight? No, I don't think I did. Therefore, just because you're our best player by a mile doesn't mean that you necessarily played fantastic. My point was, Brian, that he was the only one who looked like he could possibly create something for us. And he had a couple of decent runs. He had a shot that just went by the post. So he was by far and away our best player. I'm not sitting here, though, Brian, saying that he was outstanding.
No. He was certainly the one that looked like he was going to cause the most sort of, creative element in the team. And then you could probably throw Atman at the end there. At least he looked as though his effort was trying to take on men and do stuff and, make things happen. But yeah, that I'm stretching it. We're stretching it, saying that, he was our best player. I mean, the bar wasn't very high tonight. Let's be honest. So, it's again, we're going back to it again, though, aren't we? This is just a copy and paste repeat of games that have just happened this season already. Nothing seems to be changing at all. Nothing seems to get better, despite what the manager says. And I'm dreading to hear his post-match tonight and what he's going to say and what nonsense he's going to come out with, because let's be honest, it will be some form of nonsense.
No doubt it will be. No doubt it will be. And RFC 72, that's why I ask the questions, my friend. That's why I usually ask the questions and try not give any answers. But I do agree with you. Right, the goal, and then we'll get to the super chats. The goal, Ian. Yes, we're down to 10 men. Yes, we're still trying to push forward, which is good to see. But that goal would have been scored 11 versus 11. Defence all over the place. Midfield non-existent. I mean, it was one simple pass through, Ian, that split our whole team apart.
And again, it's the goal you are seeing week in, week out. You saw it on the weekend just gone. If it wasn't for the fact that it hit his arm, that's the same goal, essentially. It just had to be him that scored it, obviously. But it wasn't the first time it had happened in the night either. It had happened 11 versus 11. They cut through us every single time they went forward. Sometimes only needed 2 or 3 passes to be in on goal. So how they hadn't scored before then, I don't know. I think there was a run just before they scored where Butland saved twice. I think Magoma got in the way and then he put it wide. How they hadn't scored up until that point, I don't know. And it was just a matter of time. And it had been coming all game. Yes, we looked brighter in spells, but we'd done that thing that we always do. We didn't score when we were on the up and went, well, we're not going to win tonight, and sat back and just let them back into it and back into it and back into it. And eventually, although it did look a little bit offside when you first saw it, VAR obviously looked at it, draw the lines, had a little look, and it's a goal. But you can't argue that Genk probably, over the whole game, probably deserved to have that 1-0.
RFC 72, I know, mate. I was just trying to inject a little bit of humour into the reaction as we are all peed off.
And it was so true, because if you listen to the morning show, that's why we don't let him answer questions.
Yes. I still agree with your sentiment, though. I still absolutely agree with your sentiment. Right, let's talk some individual performances then, shall we, Brian? Let's start with Mikey Moore. In the first half, the young boy's trying too hard. He's trying far too hard. He needs a bit of time out of the team. And look, this is one of the things that's frustrating me with Russell Martin. I am by no means, as RFC 72 has pointed out, right? I am by no means a coach, right? I'm not up to date with all the latest tactics. I couldn't even think of the word, right? That's how poor I am.
Tic-tacs then, didn't you?
I was going to say tic-tacs. I really was going to say tic-tacs, right? But Brian, mate, I'm not up to with all these fancy new coaches who want to follow Pepper at, right? I'm really, really not. But Mikey Moore, I can see it. You can see it. Ian can see it. Everybody in the comments can see it. Everybody online can see it. That there was no need to play that boy tonight. There was absolutely no need to play him. He's struggling. He needs a bit of time away for the team, and then you put him out in a European game, and he goes missing. But I don't blame Moore. He's an 18-year-old boy. He should not be getting put in that position when it's clear for everybody to see that he shouldn't be starting. I mean, Brian, is Russell Martin seeing something magical that we're all not seeing?
Well, for starters, he had Ant-Man on the bench, who he should have started ahead of Moore. Because that's he's our player, and B, he's played a lot of European football, so that's that. Let's get that one out of the way. And as far as what Russell Martin sees, well, that could be anything. He seems to be seeing things that nobody else does. As you pointed out, we're not grade UEFA license holders or anything, but we can see the boys struggling. We can see
and you don't even get metaphors right, and you can see it.
Yeah. Well, we've not got the UEFA licenses, have we? But we can see things, and he's got all these licenses and training certificates, but he somehow thinks it's a good idea to keep playing an 18-year-old when he's struggling. It's ridiculous. I mean, as you say, is he trying too hard? Possibly. Is he low in confidence? Absolutely is. But what does he do? He plays him in a European game where the team's struggling. I mean, I think Mikey Moore would be fantastic if the team were, flying and playing well. I think he would have all the confidence. But when the team's struggling, he's a guy that, as you say, goes missing because he hasn't got any confidence to take anybody on. The amount of times that he was passing back and not taking on the fullbacks. Oh, it's so frustrating. It really is, and I'm lost for words at this point, because how can all these fans see what everybody sees the same thing, but yet the one guy that we need to see those things doesn't see those things.
Do you get anything to add to that, Ian, about Mikey Moore? Like I say, I don't want to go in on the young boy. I don't think it's fair to go in on the young boy. He is trying his best. He's struggling, and he's only on loan, right? And again, this does make a difference. He's not our player. He's on loan. And I said this, oh God, I can't even remember which show it was, because we do about 40,000 shows, right? But when you bring in a loan player, it's either an option to buy a young player who you can then further develop, or it's a player who's out with your price range that can come in and make a difference now, right? Mm-hmm. Mikey Moore is a young player who is out with our price range, who isn't quite ready, I don't think, to play for a club like Rangers.
No. I mean, the kid, when we got him, he was 17. We couldn't even play him because of the weird registration rules that we've got. So we couldn't even register him as a player until he was 18, or he was so close to 18, we delayed until he was 18 to get him registered so he could play. He's come in, and rightly so, we started him sub-appearances, slowly bringing him into the team. Then he starts a game, which is not a problem, because, we need to know if he can do that. But then he continues to start. But his form's not there. And he goes disappearing in matches. and played him. I think we played him from the start versus Celtic, and that was probably a mistake as well because it's a massive game. We did it with Diallo, didn't we? Started him against Celtic, and he just looked lost. And he did. Then so did Mikey Moore. But then it's up to the management team to see. You know what? He's struggling a little bit. Tell you what, let's bring him back out the squad. Put him in a stand for a bit and let him watch the game so he can see what's happening, or have him on the bench, bring him on, win the game, and then get him on for 15, 20 minutes. Mikey Moore does need to do more in games, but he's struggling. So therefore, it's on Russell Martin to see that and bring in other players. We've got two players that can play in that position in Curtis and Ant-Man. Let them have game time and have Mikey Moore come away from the team. I'm not going to go in on an 18-year-old lad who's trying his damnedest to do something and who has actually got a bit about him. I know Spurs fans, and they rave about him. But we're not doing right by him as a club and a management team. And again, that goes back to Russell Martin. If he can't see it, then he doesn't deserve to have the post he's in.
Well, Ian, it goes back to his man management, doesn't it? This is another episode of man management skills that he's failing. Because he failed in the Nicholas Raskin situation with man management. He failed there. He's now failing Mikey Moore because he's not recognising when the young lad's out of form and he's struggling. And instead of taking him out of the team, he's leaving him in the team. As you say, take him out of the team, put him on the bench, or take him out of the team, whatever. But he's not doing the young lad any service by just leaving him out there and struggling on week after week.
Right,
and that's his man.
Yes, I'm in total agreement with you. Total agreement with you. Let's hear from John Sutter, who spoke to TNT Sports after the game.
What is being asked of you and the players by the manager that isn't happening out on the pitch? Where do you think it is going wrong, where that disconnect is?
If I knew it was going wrong, I'd try my best to help it. It's numerous things. It's difficult to analyse it right after the game. I've just came off the pitch, so to ask that's difficult for me to answer that. But having just came off the pitch, I thought, as I said, first half, I thought we passed the ball well in moments. We didn't do things as quick as we can. I thought we did create chances. And look, when we get a goal early on here, I think it lifts the whole crowd. And if we don't get that, then it's difficult. So yeah, as I say, it's difficult to analyse anything just now so quickly after the game.
With the reaction and the way the supporters are feeling at the moment, how do you bring them back? How can you turn this around? What evidence can you present that you can switch this back around?
Yeah, obviously I understand the frustrations. We're the exact same in there. It's not like we're on different pages. We're the exact same. So it's difficult, but we can only turn it around by performances and winning games, and we need to do that quickly.
Appreciate your time, John. Thank you.
So they feel the same. And I've no doubt players like John Sutter and Finlay Curtis and that do feel the same. Numerous things are going wrong. Ian, talk about stating the obvious. He's obviously just come out and spoke after. He's obviously just come out and spoke after the game. He looks knackered, to be fair to him. Not much really from John Sutter there, but basically just saying I've not got a clue what's going wrong.
He comes off and says, I don't know what's going wrong, and if I knew, I'd try to sort it out. And then the next sentence is, multiple things have gone wrong. Which one is it, John? I don't know, or there's multiple things. It's quite obvious that multiple things are going wrong. He's probably annoyed, pissed off, and as angry as everybody else, but he can't come out and say anything against what's going on, because if he does that, he won't play. And we won't see him again. And it is difficult to come off a pitch. I mean, we struggle enough at times to remember what actually happened in games, and we watched it. So he's had to play in it and all the real to do with it. So he's not going to be able to come off the pitch and go, well, we didn't do this right, we didn't do that right. When you see that bit in the 29th minute when he should have played he's not going to remember that stuff playing in the game. So he did what he could with that interview. A bit of a tragic question, in all fairness, but what do you expect?
Right, I've got quite a lot of super chats to get through, but before I go to them, and Lockeye Review, I've got your super chat coming up first, mate, right? But before I do that, it is time to hear the manager's reaction on TNT Sports. This clip is 3 minutes, 30 seconds long. So if you don't want to listen to it, go and make yourself a cup of tea and come back, or a cup of coffee. I'm not going into the real men chat again. But here comes the manager's reaction.
Russell, it's another difficult evening. What are your thoughts on the side's performance tonight?
Well, I think it's difficult because we're down to 10 men for so long. We had good control in the first bit of the game, and then had a tough spell where we had to defend a little bit because we weren't good enough or clean enough with the ball. And then I thought we rode that out, and then Theo gets sent off, and it changes the game. So the lads I thought were good second half. We actually looked a threat on the break. They wanted to take the ball. They stuck together. We wanted to be aggressive with it to try and cause them problems as well. And then they score a goal, which we shouldn't concede, really. It's we have them in the corner. We should probably foul or at least take the ball. And then a couple of bad decisions later, it's a goal. So, but they stuck at it. I'm proud of that in the second half. With 10 men for so long, against decent teams is not easy. So it is what it is.
Even with that, can you be proud of a result like that? I mean, even
We're not
11.
about the result. We're not talking about the result. You're asking about the performance.
But even like 11 against 11, it seemed like Genk had a lot of chances. They seemed to get in quite easily through the middle of the defence.
Yeah, I just said to you, we had good control for 25, 30 minutes, and then we had a wobbly spell for 5, 10 minutes where we weren't clean enough with the ball, so we have to defend a bit more. And we had moments as well. We were in their box a lot.
Why do you think that happened? You had the control for 20 minutes. Why do you think that maybe didn't that you sort of lost that control?
I just said we weren't clean enough with the ball.
So why do you think that's happening though?
I think we're playing again. We trap ourselves. We don't show enough intensity to receive the ball and find the other side of the pitch, and it hurt us a little bit.
Is there a reason you think for that? Is it the players not performing your instructions? Are they? I know you said last week there's a lot of anxiety on the pitch. Is it things like that?
No, I don't think so tonight. I just think it's we're playing against a team that are set up well, but we should do better with the ball. We should look after the ball better. But it's about habits all the time. So it was fine when we're going well, and then when we have a little bit of a wobble, the habits change a little bit. Sort of goes to a bit of default. So we have to change that into habits that are right for us all the time.
I know you said there was progress on Saturday against Hibs. I know we maybe couldn't build on that because of the red card. How far away do you feel this team is from putting in a performance for 90 minutes that is what you are after?
Not far. I think we'll learn and grow from tonight. I think they did well for having 10 men with a long time to play. So I think tonight, as much as it was good evidence for us on last Saturday about the good feeling they had after the game, there'll be stuff tonight that tomorrow is really clear for the players. So there'll be a lot of learning from tonight.
I'm sure you heard the reaction at full time from the supporters. It's a difficult relationship at the moment between you and them. What do you need to do to turn this around? Do you still believe you can get them back on side?
Yeah, I just have to. I said it so many times before, the only thing that will impact that is winning football matches. I think inside the building, they've been amazing. The process has been great, the players, the staff. So we have to just keep focusing on that. And then the outcome will end up being positive, and hopefully that will end up turning the supporters in their feeling.
And just last one, obviously Andrew Kavanagh was here again tonight. He's been here all week. What do you think he will have made of what he's seen on the pitch, but also in the stands?
I'll find out in about 15 minutes. I look forward to seeing him and chatting to him.
Appreciate your time.
Top man. Thank you.
Well, at least we'll learn and grow. That's the main thing. At least we'll learn
Never
and
heard
grow.
that before, have we?
No, we haven't heard that before. No.
We must be
10
one
men.
intelligent team, by the way, because we learn and grow every freaking week.
Yes, we do. Yes, we do. He did mention the 10 men. Of course, look, the 10 men obviously makes a difference, especially when you're playing in Europe. But to say that we had 20, 30 minutes of good control, I don't know what game he's watching. I really don't know what game he's watching. Second half, we were good in the second half and a threat on the break. I don't know what game he's watching. I really don't know. To me, in that interview, I would have liked a better interview. The interviewer seemed awfully nervous. I would have liked somebody with a little bit more experience to be speaking to Russell Martin there, Ian. But what I took from that is that he is now seriously feeling the pressure.
The interviewer allowed him to jump down his throat with one of his questions, and from that point on, he couldn't recover because he said something about the performance. He says, I'm not here to talk about the performance. I'm not here to talk about the result. You're not there to talk about the result.
No. What he said was you asked me about the performance, not the result.
Okay. But there's just things in that thing that he's done. It is what it is. No, it's not. You've lost. It's not. It is what it is. That's not good enough. Nowhere near good enough. He rambled. The more he listened, the more I wanted to get in my car, drive up there, and smack him in the face. No offense, but I did. I just can't. I can't listen to that man anymore. There's nothing in those interviews that makes me think he cares. I just don't think he cares. It's like, I don't really care. We've lost, yeah, brilliant. We've lost. It is what it is. We'll keep doing things the way I want to do things. The players They hurt me. He's done it. The players hurt him because they don't seem to have the intensity to do things that he wants them to do. So they've hurt me. I mean, the tea lady hasn't got the blame yet, but I'm sure it's coming.
I mean, when he bites back at the boy and says, "No, you asked me about the performance," then what the boy should have done when he went, "Right, well, I'm going to ask you about the result. Is the result good enough?" Instead of just cowering away. His post-match press conference with all the media should be interesting. I wonder what questions David Edgar's got lined up for him.
Didn't look good tonight, that's for sure.
Wonder if Dave will be allowed to ask questions.
Aye, well, there's always that as well. Right, let's get to some of the super chats because I do want to have a quick chat about Asgard as well before we go. But Lockeye Review, massive super chat. Thank you very much, Lockeye. Massive channel supporter. Europe is the yardstick for the team. Brian, where is the progress? There isn't any. It's regression. We are seeing the owners cannot deny it. Well, he said he was speaking to Kavanagh in 15 minutes. I don't think we will, but there's every opportunity we might get a wee announcement later on the night. I doubt it. But as Lockeye is saying, where is the progress?
Well, there's no progress because we're on 0 points after one game. That's we finished top 8 in this competition last year. I don't see any evidence of us getting even into the playoff. The top 24. That's looking like a bit of a stretch now, isn't it? That's starting to look a bit. Oh dear, we're not going to get to that stage. So this is I mean, he's saying he's looking forward to going and seeing Kavanagh and having a chat. I wouldn't be looking forward to go and have a chat. I'll tell you. If your manager wants to have a chat with you after a bad performance like that, you've got to be worrying for what he's going to come out with. You've got to be thinking there's going to be a difficult conversation one of these times, and it's coming soon. But he somehow just seems to be skating by, and he just has all this confidence that he's not. He's there. He seems to have just this air of invincibility where it doesn't matter what result happens, he's going to still be there. I find it that the arrogance and confidence of the man is just extraordinary, absolutely extraordinary.
Yeah, it really is.
I find it actually quite just. My jaw just about hit the deck when I heard that interview.
I do still think he looked awfully nervous. I do. He looked very, very uncomfortable. But Lockeye, thank you so much for the super chat, my friend. Thank you for the support. Bear91, thank you for the super chat. Russell Martin's tactics are woeful. Pass. We have good players that are being wasted, and I dread Livy on Sunday, Ian. Another bore fest coming.
If you're David Martindale on Sunday, you're licking your lips at this because he said even when Gerrard was here, he knew how to play against us because of the way that we played, so he knew what to do. He'll walk all over Russell Martin. He'll out-tact again, just like Stephen Presley did. That's a worrying thought, isn't it? But it's woeful. It's pass, but it's not pass into the space that a player can run into. It's pass to their feet with their back to the goal. That gives the defensive team a chance to actually get the ball back and get their shape as quickly as you like. Genk did it. They played fast-moving football through the lines in front of a player so they could run onto it. Didn't have to break stride most of the time. So you saw how to do it today. That's the football Genk played, although they weren't brilliant by any stretch of imagination. But the football played that they did tonight was something that I expected we were going to get from the talk that we got from Russell Martin at the start of the season. And we're not getting it. It is boring football. And we all know what to expect when we come into it. We just hope it changes. And it doesn't. It's just pass, horseshoe. And if you do well, you seem to get taken off.
Yeah. Bear91, thank you so much for that. Mel channel member, thank you for the super chat. Thank God for the watch along with Alex. I mean, that is the only positive you can take out of the night, folks, is the watch along with Alex.
I'm starting to worry about poor Alex. He's having to do all that every week.
And he's on the watch along for Livy as well. I don't know how he's doing it, Mel. Thank you very much for the super chat. RFC72 channel member, he will probably use an excuse for the pen. RFC72, Russell Martin will use an excuse for absolutely everything apart from his own tactics and his own decisions and his own substitutions and everything round about it. So yeah, you're absolutely spot on. Ian Super Sal, Super chat, thank you, and channel member. Is tonight the night we finally put out our misery? Martin gets sacked. I seriously can't handle this shit anymore. Ian, my answer to that would be probably not.
My answer to that will be a hard no. We're not going to do it. As much as I'd love to come back on here in an hour and 10 minutes and do a breaking news pod with as many people as want to do it, to say that he's gone, we can look forward to Sunday because we'll have a better manager in place. So even if it is the tea lady taking over, it's not going to happen. He'll get Sunday at the very least. Even if we drop points at the weekend, there's just something there at the moment that tells me that he's not going, because he looks like a man. Although you said he looks nervous, he also looks like a man who knows he's going nowhere. So yeah, for me, no, he's not going anywhere tonight, and I think he'll still be here come the semi-final of the cup at the very least.
Yeah, I would probably agree with that. I mean, I hope I'm wrong, and I hope Kavanagh looked at that tonight and looked at the crowd tonight and went, no, I need to do something about this. It needs to be sorted. I mean, Patrick Stewart's always got that same face, so you never know what kind of mood Patrick Stewart's in, but Kavanagh didn't look happy sitting watching that. Super Sal, thank you very, very much for the super chat. Yorkie Scotland, you didn't put your comment in. If I see a comment from you, Yorkie, I will bring it up, but thank you very, very much for your super chat as well. Calvin Bennett, member for 11 months. Thank you very much, Calvin. Car crash interview, out his depth, only a matter of time till he's gone TikTok. That's no secret. I don't think that Russell Martin's completely out his depth. I don't think that's a secret to anybody. Nobody's surprised by that. There was plenty of decisions that he could have made tonight to try and change that game as well, and he refused to make them. He absolutely refused to make them.
Somebody said in the comments, and I can't remember who it was, so apologies, but a better manager gets something out of this team.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's a nucleus of a team in our squad. We're just not utilising them correctly. I can't remember who said it in the comments. I'll apologise, but somebody did say a better manager can get something out of this squad and get us going. Problem is, we're stuck with the manager for the foreseeable, because as Super Sal asked there, do you see us getting rid of him anytime soon? No, we don't. There's apparently no talks or no even chatter of getting rid of him. So we are stuck with him, unfortunately, folks.
I mean, I've got two more super chats to go, and then I'm going to bring this up, right? But I'm just going to leave this there. Keeping Asgard on, wow, a shambles. I couldn't believe he kept Asgard on as long as what he did. But we'll come back to that in a wee second. Charles, the poshest member of the Rabble, with Gassam and Magoma, the left side is fine. The left side was okay tonight, Ian. It certainly wasn't the area of the pitch that I was looking at and I was most worried about. It was okay. Magoma, a couple of little dodgy defensive positions and decisions and stuff like that, but that's going to come as a young player. It's definitely not the weakest part of the team.
No, and that has actually built quite well. They look like they've got some sort of understanding there. And Gassama, now that we know how to pronounce his name properly, thanks to the man himself saying his name, they do seem to be building up this point. Gassama knows when to wait for Magoma. Magoma knows when to wait for Gassama. And they seem to be building some sort of relationship. So it is the strongest bit. And the tag team dead weight there, Charles, is correct, saying that that the left-hand side is fine. But is fine good enough? We need the left-hand side to be good, great, better. But fine will do for now, because it's all we've got to cling on to. We need something like that on the right-hand side. And I just don't think you're going to get that with Tavern Moore. I think your Outman or your Curtis is your options over there. But yeah, at the moment, no qualms on the left-hand side. You say Gassama tonight was probably the best player on the pitch for us, although not sparklingly brilliant. But yeah, that side, that's where all the dangerous stuff that we actually did tonight came from, was the left-hand side. Oh, he's on mute.
Well, hey, book me, send me off if you want. I'm happy to be sent off tonight.
No, you've got to do double shift, man.
Yeah, Greg 93. He pulled out the trained well line again, Jesus. I mean, I'm not surprised at anything that Martin says to try and justify anything, Brian.
No, I'm not. It's just... You could copy and paste every interview he's done and just replayed it after every game. Oh, they've trained great. They're great, and they're great, and everybody's in the building's great. The staff are great. The results are shite. Simple as that. You can train as great as much as you want. Get them playing. Football's not a hard sport. it's people like Russell Martin who make it hard. It's a simple sport, and it's made hard by people like him. So no, I'm not at all surprised by that comment. As soon as he said it, I just sort of rolled my eyes and I thought, "Oh, here we go again. Just another disastrous post-match interview, but unsurprising as well."
Yeah. Greg, mate, thank you very much for that super chat as well. I'm going to play another quick minute clip for everybody. This is Ali McCoist speaking on TNT Sports. It's only a minute long, and then I promise we will get to Asgard.
It's understandable that the Rangers fans are disillusioned right now, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Of course they are. They've got every right to. They're totally justified in being disappointed with what they're seeing because, I mean, it clearly hasn't been good enough and it isn't good enough. And tonight was another disappointment. You can point to the red card, the deserved red card, but it goes deeper than that, Emma. The level of performances haven't been good enough. I just felt coming into the stadium tonight, and you could have blown me away. It was nothing like a normal atmosphere of any game, never mind a European game here at Ibrox. There was an apathy. There was a kind of, I don't know, it just there was no life about the place, actually on or off the pitch, which is really, really concerning. Listen, Emma, the manager's in trouble. The manager's in big trouble because something has to change, and something has to change dramatically. And on the current evidence, sadly, I can't see it happening.
And he's spot on. He's absolutely spot on. Something has to change, and unfortunately, I don't think any of us think that that's going to happen. But when Alan McCoist never comes out and says anything about managers getting sacked, he always avoids the question. If he's asked that question, he skirts around it, and for obvious reasons. Yeah. But even when Alan McCoist is coming out and saying, "No, it's time to change," then you know that everybody's now against Russell Martin.
Yeah, everybody is, and that's not going to change. Ex-players are going to have already had rumbles on social media. None of the fans, not a lot of us wanted him in the first place, but when he got the job, we were like, right, he's in. Let's see where we go. He talked a good game. We all got a bit up, but as soon as the season started, it's all just changed. I mean, like you said yourself, it was after Dundee, get him gone now. So. He's on a hiding to nothing. And if anything, for the board to save the man's own mental health, just tell him, look, thanks, but it's not working. I'm sure you'll get another job somewhere else. Thank you for your future endeavours, as the Americans like to say. And away you go. Just to save him.
That would be lovely. Any excuse, really. Any excuse. Right, before we go then, because there's plenty more we could talk about, and I might do a wee show tomorrow afternoon. I don't know yet. To maybe look at some more players and some more incidents from this game. Because like I say, there's no morning or afternoon rabble tomorrow, and we're back tomorrow night for the 30-minute preview show. I don't think the 30-minute preview show will be enough. So if I can get a show arranged for tomorrow before that 30-minute preview, looking ahead to Livingston, then I will try my best too. Brian, Tello Asgard was worse than a man down the night. I can't remember. And by the way, that's not, I mean, I don't think Raskin played well tonight either. I thought Raskin was miles off it, right? But Tello Asgard, for me, looked like a player who just could not be arsed.
I mean, that run at the end that he made when the ball was put out the right-hand side into the final third, he should have been bursting a gut to try and get to that ball, because that ball was not going nowhere near out. He jogged along and just moseyed behind the defender. And then when he realised the ball wasn't going out, he made a little spurt to make it look as though that he thought the ball was going out. Oh, there's no point in running to it. But this is a pattern I've seen with Asgard since he started. I think it was St Mirren was the first game he played. He started up front for us at St Mirren. He looked lackadaisical that day. Now, okay, he was out of position. He was playing number 9 that day. So I cut him a bit of slack that day. But this is a reoccurring theme now with Asgard. He trots around the pitch. The winger went through on the right hand side. He cut onto his left and he sprayed the ball way out to the corner flag. The shot again. You can see in the replay he's trotting behind. There's a midfielder bursting a gut in front of him. he's trotting behind him, and you're just thinking, wow, where's your desire here? Where's your will to get back and help your teammates and defend? Because I didn't see much evidence of that tonight, and he just looks like he's a big time Charlie, and he's just not backing it up.
Yeah. Final word then on Tello Asgardian to you.
He has not shown anything to say why he deserves a starting spot in the team. I mean, Brian's talking about that one where the ball was dribbling out and he could have got to it. There was another moment where he gives the ball to Ant-Man and just stops.
Yeah.
Ant-Man thinks he's going to run into the space that he's created for him, plays the ball back out, and the ball goes out of play. He just stopped running, and he did that a lot tonight. His main thing that he did tonight, the only thing that he was doing tonight, was getting the ball, getting the player to come in close, quick turn, fall to the floor, get a free kick. And he did that well, but that's all he did. Did nothing else. He had one major opportunity to score in the first half, and he's leaning back. I mean, before he even hit his foot, you knew that was going over because he was leaning so far back, he was nearly laying down. So he's flattering to deceive. If he must train really well on the Thursday or something, like Martin likes to say. That's why
they train really well all weekend. We've got the best training squad in the world.
So yeah, they train really well. They just can't do it on the pitch, and that will hurt Russell Martin because these things hurt him. But maybe this needs to loosen the cornrows a little bit, and he'll see what he's doing.
That comment is spot on, by the way. That is absolutely spot on. Asgard is the poor man's Cantwell, and at least Cantwell showed a bit of heart and desire. Exactly.
He wasn't exactly fantastic for us though, Todd Cantwell, was he?
No, he wasn't. But at least he looked as though he wanted to try and make things happen and score a few goals. Asgard's just looked nothing even remote like that.
Do you want me to depress you all before we go, like even more than we already are?
I'm not sure it's possible. You give it a go.
Are you going to post the Russell Martin Rangers interview?
No. I'm just going to bring up a simple comment.
All right.
Iggerman scored again tonight, and Dessers is doing well at his new club.
Yeah, but Dessers couldn't play tonight. He was cup tied. So.
And test video, yes, you were right this morning. Congratulations, gold star for you. Right, folks, that will do us for tonight. Like I say, if I can get a show sorted for tomorrow afternoon, I will. Before you jump off, if you haven't already, please do give the show a like on YouTube and subscribe if you haven't already. Follow us on all socials. Follow us on Twitter. We're live on Twitter just now as well. And check out all our socials for clips as well of all the shows. They'll go out probably tomorrow now because I'm that annoyed. I'm going to go to the gym. That's what I'm going to do because I'm just that annoyed. So yeah, follow us across all socials, folks. Leave us a like and subscribe on YouTube. And if you want to help out the podcast a little bit more and get access to loads of extra content, including all our morning rabbles, our midweek member streams, our wrestling, the extreme gaming, the random rabble, the Sunday supplement, the boardroom, and loads more, then consider joining as a member now. Links are in the description, either YouTube or Patreon, whatever one you prefer. So, yes, there we go, folks. We have lost in match day 1 of the Europa League. No real big shock to anybody, I don't think. My thanks to Brian and Ian for joining me. Thank you for all the comments tonight. They were going that fast, I could not keep up, so I do apologise. Thank you for all the super chats as well. And unfortunately, we will speak again very, very soon.